The London Underground, commonly known as the Tube, is the oldest and arguably most famous underground railway in the world. But what is the Tube Challenge? There are quite a few videos on YouTube by Tube Challenges, but I've yet to find a general introduction as to what the Tube Challenge actually is. So I thought I'd make this for the benefit of the mildly interested general viewer in whose recommendations this will turn up in about 3 years from now. I've only done the Tube Challenge once myself, and although I've been to London more times than I can count over the past 50 years, I don't pretend to be anywhere near as knowledgeable about London in general, or the Tube in particular, as YouTubers like Jeff Marshall, Jago Hazard, or Jay Foreman.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Also, this video is admittedly a bit of an exercise in futility. Because I live in Helsinki, Finland, and because I'm recording this in August 2021, for obvious reasons I was unable to do this in London. Secondly, some of the information in this video is going to go out of date quite soon, with the opening of the Battersea extension of the Northern Line in September 2021. So anyway, the basic premise of the Tube Challenge is simple. Visit all stations on the London Underground in the shortest time possible. And this does mean only stations on the actual Underground. So no Docklands Light Railway, no trams, no TfL rail and no overground. Only the 11 underground lines. For many years there have been, and still are at the time of this recording, 270 stations on the Tube. Now, you may already have noticed that there are only 267 names on this list. This is because there are 3 stations that each consist of 2 physically separate stations with the same name: Edgware Road, Paddington and Hammersmith. It is entirely possible to complete the Tube Challenge within 1 day, quite comfortably, in about 19 hours, assuming no delays or unforeseen incidents. The official Guinness World Record for the Tube Challenge is 15 hours, 45 minutes, 38 seconds, and that's unlikely to change anytime soon, for reasons that I may talk about in part 2 if there is one. But for now, let's look at the rules. Firstly, visiting a station is defined as arriving at the station by tube train, departing from the station by tube train, or being on board a tube train that stops at the station. Secondly, what means can you use? The rule is simple. You're allowed to use any means of scheduled public transport, meaning tube trains, any other trains, the Docklands Light Railway, trams, buses, and even riverboats, although that would not make a lot of sense. And of course you can travel on foot. You are not allowed to use any means of private transport. So no taxis, no private vehicles, no motorbikes, no bicycles, no electric scooters, no skateboards, etc., etc. You get the idea. The time starts when the doors close on the first train you take and stops when you set foot on the platform of the last station you visit. There's some controversy about this wording, but the consensus is that you have to arrive on that platform by tube train, not on foot from the outside. My only Tube Challenge took more than 30 hours to complete because we missed out on Heathrow Terminal 4 on the night and had to go visit it the following morning. A successful completion requires careful planning and scouting to make sure you know exactly where you need to be and where you're going when you're actually doing it. Even a casual look at the tube map shows that there is no simple and efficient way of going around all the stations. And of course we have to remember that the tube map is not a map, it's a diagram, which is why it's important to look at actual maps and to scout out locations in advance. But I don't want to get into too much detail here. I may do a part 2 on the Guinness World Record aspects of this if there is interest, but for now I'll leave you with an example. Most serious tube challengers are quite jealous of their routes because they spend ages honing them and comparing various options to produce the best results. So this is the route that we took on our Tube Challenge. It's doable in about 19 hours if all goes well, but as I noted before, it took us more than 30 hours because of Heathrow Terminal 4. Enjoy.